Hey there, guys. We've got news for Global on December 22nd, and this week joining me for the Christmas news is Gerrtt again. So you can say hello, Gerrtt.
Hey there, everybody. Good morning to you, Sinzar. Good to be here talking again about what looks like maybe another ice-themed unit.
Yes, cheerful caroler Ayaka. So this is a global. It's a global original design, but the unit Ayaka is, an older unit from the story. I think she's all the way back in season one, but now she's a global unit. And we're getting all the Christmas stuff as well on the banner. So you said a moment ago you were excited because it's Ayaka. So why is that? Tell me about Ayaka and why you like her, Gerrtt.
So back in the very early part of the game, I was having a really hard. I was actually just talking about this yesterday. I was having a really hard time getting my account like really rolling as far as like having some good core like units and like stuff to help me get going. And for the longest time, I was running the 4-star Tillith, the healer from Brave Frontier. And then I got Ayaka, and like my whole account just started changing after that. Like it just, the original Ayaka really like turned my account around. So I'm a fan. I think she's pretty cool.
Nice, nice. Yeah, for me, back in the day, I had Tillith as well, but I knew about JP, so I knew that Ayaka was good when she came out, but I knew that Lotus Mage Fina was better. So I actually held out for like 2 extra months for Lotus Mage Fina, and that was the healer, the big healer upgrade that I chased on Global.
Yeah.
So the banner is one with a vision card, which is nice. I didn't really look at the banner itself, but it looks. I see a lot of red crystals, so it seems good.
Looks pretty good. It's it's a 28K, pretty standard for us.
And the vision card seems really good. We'll go over that in just a moment. And then the follow up banner is it looks like the older NVs are on there as well, which is I don't like to see that, but whatever. As long as it doesn't influence the rate of the new unit.
Yeah.
So Ayaka is an SLB unit. Seems to be a mage. Rod in Peril on the SLB, Ice Amplify for herself, and it boosts her abilities. Doesn't say anything about dealing damage, so it seems like this is going to be just a mod boost, kind of like Regina.
That's what it looks like.
And then,
also worth noting, she has the buffer tag too.
Support and mage roles, which is kind of nice because, that means she could. Oh, not that you want to use SLB. I was going to say she could use Fina's chest piece, Dark Fina's chest piece for the really good bulk, but no, she can't shift, so you actually wouldn't want to do that because it'd be a damage loss.
Right.
But you could, I guess, if you really needed to.
Right.
And her card, we'll go over the cards real quick while we're right here. So we're going to start with the banner card. So this is the special card if you go the full 28K on the banner. So 130 magic, 500 flat, killers to both of the current Clash of Wills, Demon and Stone, some passive, some resistance. And then it seems for Brave Exvius units, it seems to have Dark Rain's Trust Mastery built in, magic boost. So this is pretty cool because one of the frequent comments I get on videos where I use Dark Rain's TMR is I never pulled a Dark Rain. And I just can't, magic focus my unit. So this seems really good for Brave Exvius units.
I agree, and I love utility items. So like stuff like the Hyo Vision card where it has the blazing red flash on it. Stuff like this just like lets you build in extra utility and have like extra actions and options for your units is really cool. The killer's is great. I mean, it's lacking, what I think a lot of people would be really excited about, which would be another additional source of 200% true double hand. But it's got other stuff, and not every unit needs the true double hand boost. So I think it's pretty cool.
And this is kind of cool too that it does have 500 base HP, so that'll get multiplied by passives and all. So that's kind of nice. A little bit of bulk on a DPS card, which is what they're usually missing. So convenient.
Yeah, very cool.
And then Ayaka's own personal card. Seems to be okay. Usually when they do the special card, they kind of like make the normal card kind of bad as like a way to tempt you to pull. But this one seems decent. It gives you, the stats, 130 magic, really high, 500 to Brave Exvius units only, which are the only ones that really matter for the most part.
Yeah, especially for Clash of Wills.
Demon and Stone again, so this is good for the killers. And then it gives us the ability Whipped Cream Garden. Deal partial unmitigated magic damage to all enemies. Activates one time even if you're dual wielding. So, like, I know I give Goomy grief sometimes, but they're not so foolish that this would be non-elemental. So it's probably a physical typed magic skill that can be imbued. So that's kind of cool depending on what the modifier is.
And what the chain family is.
I wish they gave us that information in the news,
Yeah.
but it'll be cool to see. Who is this? Oh, that's Sakura, isn't it?
Yeah, it does look like Sakura.
I was gonna say this little like snowflake is like a bad shit. It's probably like falling in the animation, but it's like a block in her head. But yeah, it's Sakura. Okay, cool. What's the? And then Ayaka.
I like
is
the
there.
art on the special card too.
Definitely, very well done. And as the unit, now you were saying you're really happy about her STMR rod, and you were absolutely right. It does seem to be a good STMR. It gives 240 magic for herself, 500 more, and then it fills morale per turn, which is great. But the thing that we both agreed that it's we're both tired of seeing STMRs or STMR weapons on every global exclusive unit, and they're just following right along with this one, another one.
It's nice. I mean, I'm not going to complain about another good two-handed magic weapon, especially if she's got Rod Imperil built into her kit. That would be super cool. But the fact that it's another way to fill morale, which has been kind of a struggle for the last couple Clash of Wills, depending on what teams you're running. This is like a straight upgrade to the Celestite Rod because that only does it one time. This does it every turn. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and this could like widen the gap between like your casual player and the tryhards in Clash of Wills that have all the options. Because like if someone goes hard in the banner, they pull 4 Ayakas, they Moogle all the rods. Now you've got 4 of these in your party. Like the developers can't ignore that, and they have to tune Clash of Wills going forward around the potential of having that, which really penalizes people that don't have it. Which is why,
and the resources to make as many copies as you have Ayakas.
That's kind of why I don't love to see this on an unlimited source, because like it really pushes you to try to get like up to 6 of these and put them on like Brave Shield forms of even your DPS units, etc., or your non-mage DPS units. But yeah, then again, it could be like a really small amount, like maybe 100 per turn. In that case, it's not that big a deal. So we'll see. And then her TMR is fine. Like, I don't think you're really going to wear this on other units except for her, but obviously she wants it for the flat magic, 500 more. It's pretty good. And then her EX ability.
It doesn't say that it doesn't... Oh, no, it does say that it doesn't stack. I was going to say. That could be even worth 2 of them, but yeah, just one.
And then her EX ability, some HP, some magic evade, which sometimes matters, but usually not. And then 50% chain cap up. This annoys me because like what is the point? I hate these weird numbers. I know they just gave us the 50% materia from Nier, but like are they just assuming people pulled for that and got it? Like otherwise it's such a goofy number, and what is the point of this 50%?
You're still going to be eating an ability slot at that point, either for a 50% or you just have red numbers, and like that's annoying to people who don't like the red numbers. So yeah,
I don't love that. And then her cooldown is Ice, Earth, and Light in Peril. It just buffs up and then fills morale gauge, basically some resistance. It's kind of whatever. And then her Magnus boost ice damage of her. It's an amplify for ice to herself only, and then deals morale damage. So this is probably her big burst, because her burst, her SLB doesn't deal damage. It boosts modifiers, and then this is probably where the modifiers are being used on is her Magnus ability, her biggest burst, I would assume. So what is your initial impression about Ayaka? Is she going to be good? Because I'm going to say Global has a record of putting out, I mean, I'm going to upset some people, but just bad Christmas units. Like, if we go all the way back to the beginning, we've got, like, Christine, Felix, Eldrin, the Tiana last year, and all of these units were either borderline usable for one event, like Tiana, and then we never saw her again, or just straight up bad, like Eldrin, Felix, Christine, all these units were not good. And again, I'm going to get people in the comments mad at me like, oh, I used Christine for this fight. But if we're talking like meta levels, these units were not good. Eldrin was never good. He never had a moment to shine. He was bad from day one. Tiana had maybe one Clash of Wills fight, and then she was benched forever. So do you think this is going to follow the tradition for 6 years going strong, where the Christmas unit is always bad? Gerrtt, what do you think?
I think that she's got a couple things working against her. One, that she's an SLB, and people either love that or hate that. And then, like you said, she is Christmas, and they have a bad track record. Now, there have also been a couple of good Christmas units. Kryla in particular.
You see, hold on one second. Now, when I've discussed this with people, the Kryla is always brought up, but everyone forgets Kryla was also a complete terrible unit on release. She only became good after her overhaul like 2 years later, and they updated her. Then she became quite nice. But on release day, Kryla was not good.
Okay, so we'll say not Kryla, but Lucas had some usability early on. In fact, he was even in the fixed party trials when they were doing those. That was pretty cool. But I'll also say that they've done some things with SLBs, some SLBs that have ended up being better than people thought they were going to be. Olive has turned out to be just fine as long as you can fill her LB a couple times. Lilith is doing Lilith things and has made her way onto several teams and clears for recent stuff outside of Clash of Wills. So, but they're not Christmas, are they? I mean, it really depends on modifiers. And what else? I'm curious to see what the rest of that support kit looks like, since she does have the support tag. Like if there's some options for the party and not just for her, because it looks like her Magnus, is definitely a selfish buff. So it just kind of depends.
Yep, pretty much. Her being SOB, I'm not like super worried about that, because like you say, Global definitely has shown that when they want to, they can make SOBs totally fine. For me, it's just like she's a Christmas unit, and they are almost always really, really mediocre. That said, I will probably pull for her because she is obviously the Clash of Wills unit. But I am very, very concerned we're going to be at Tiana 2.0, and then I'm going to pull for her. She's going to be great this Clash of Wills, and then come January 1st, we're never going to see her again. That's my concern. We don't know until we see the whole kit. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is the first ever, meta Christmas unit. We will have to see on Thursday. I would just say, people, make sure you go into the banner with your eyes open before you just blindly pull because, global unit, you assume it's amazing. Let's wait.
Absolutely. I'm probably going to be pulling as well. Between, like you said, Clash of Wills, and also I'm really interested in the Vision card. So even if I wasn't super interested in her, the special Vision card on the banner is interesting enough to me that I would, go for that. Just because it's, like I said, flexibility, and 100% killers for Stone is not terrible. Demon, we have lots of options, but Stone is a nice one to pick up. So lots of good stuff on that Vision card.
Definitely. Yeah, this Vision card is really good. And this one could almost be worth, on its own. Because, like exactly like you, this little focus ability as a utility, even for a unit that doesn't specifically need it, like let's just say Tsukiko, where you normally equip Dark Range TMR anyway, like it's cool that it frees up that slot, although Tsukiko is not the best example because she's Shift anyway. But for someone for someone that isn't Brave Shift, like an SLB unit or something. But it's pretty cool. And then the event is this dude looks like he should be on like Venice Beach or something, but
it's fantastic.
Get ready to crumble.
Yep.
The gingerbread man, awesome sprite. It seems to be a raid, I think. Raid box.
Raid summon. Yeah.
So that's cool. In the event, the gear is decent. Kryla's STMR is getting upgraded, which is real nice. I think it was 20 resist all before, and now it's 30. It's really good.
And they are giving you a free copy of her if you've never gotten her before.
Oh, are they? Awesome. I didn't even get beyond that far.
It's up at the very, very top, yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yep. Play the event to obtain a 5-star Kryla and her awakening materials.
Outstanding. Because, like we mentioned, Kryla after her final updates and all her New Age Awakening is still pretty decent, pretty useful. It's still one of the better Dark and Holy supports available on global at EX3, of course. But yeah, and then a two-handed fist. It's light element. It gives some killers to Demon and Stone. It's a little lower on attack power than what we're currently used to. We're walking around with 405 attack power two-handers these days. But if you need the killers, it could be good.
Great starter weapon.
This one is a stop resist chest piece, which is good for newer players because they don't usually have stop resist. Other than that, it's whatever. This is my favorite one personally, the Cozy Scarf, because it has auto buff mitigation to Stone and Demon. I don't think we have those yet on these, and for those players that don't know, this is the kind of thing you can equip on a base or an off form, and then when you shift, that mitigation remains. So for example, you stick this on like Chow's shift form, and when he goes to the base form, he's still permanently, undispellably, forever mitigating against Demon and Stone. Normally it's only 10%, but I mean, every little bit helps. And I don't think we have Stone or Demon yet.
Yeah, that's very cool. And then obviously the attack or the HP on it as well. Anything with a big boost to just like your HP, like that's going to get multiplied. So it's pretty cool.
Very nice, very nice. And then bonus units, typical stuff. And then there's is this a one-time or Master's Crown? So it must be a one-time fight.
Lapis too.
Awesome. And here's the Intrinsics. So this is. We're going to start with Tiana's because they show pretty much everything. There's nothing left to speculation here. So it's 1,000 magic, some passive stuff, some killers, and then chain speed. That is it. No mention of a modifier buff. So the only thing because she caps magic very easily anyway. So this is irrelevant. She's easy to gear, so she didn't really need killers. Chain speed is almost whatever, especially when you're a ×5 caster. This is like a drop in the bucket. So all she's getting is 1,000 magic, which does absolutely nothing to save Tiana. And this is what so frustrates me is because I pulled her all the way to EX3 last year, hoping, I realized right away she was not good, and maybe, they eventually update her. Here's her update, and it's doing nothing. So, what about this, Gerrtt? How do you feel?
That does not make me feel good about Tiana. Because, like you said, I mean, she caps her magic almost immediately. The killers, cool, but, like, chain speed is boring. And you can get that from tons of other sources. Now this is a full amount, but whatever. And then the magic, which is nice, but her biggest two issues are the fact that it takes her 5 turns to stack up, and that her LB is stupid. Those are her biggest concerns, and the overall modifiers are low. But like also, 1,000 magic will fix it.
Also, she's a ×5 caster, which no one realistically does either, and you can weave all her cast into other chains if you build a goofy Frankenstein chain whatever, but it's very awkward to use, and Tiana's just unfortunate, and this is not helping her at all. Disappointing. And then Eldrin, another unit, like I mentioned, in my opinion, was never good. He is getting 2,000 attack and magic, which is a big number. He is still if I remember correctly, he's actually a true dual wield unit, right? You can of course, you can force double hand, but it's hard to do. But yeah, so attack and magic, killers against this, and then boost ability. So this one we can't really judge because if you remember Starlight Elena, we saw her intrinsic and we're like, oh, Starlight Elena, she's super dead in the water. Turns out when you buff modifiers as extreme as they did for her, it matters. So if they give him a massive modifier buff, he could be the next Starlight Elena, and he's all of a sudden good again. I hope so. I don't even have him, but
oh, you don't?
I don't. I didn't get a single one during my Tiana polls. I kind of wanted one just for collection's sake. Never got one. He is on the banner again for Ayaka, so there's a chance again. But I just hope he's good for play, because I know players really like him. They like the sprite, they like the idea of the unit, and they pulled for him, and they deserve to have a good unit, at least usable a little bit. So I'm hoping he's really good. Even if I don't have him, I just want him to be good.
Yeah. I've got him at EX3 and a couple spares, so I'm excited about the possibility of it. My thought exactly is yours. Like, depending on the modifier, it could be as good as Starlight Elena's. So Yeah, very cool. I mean, I hope it's good. Hope it's worth investing, crowns in to make them.
Yep, definitely. And then lightning fast Zidane. So he's here something like 6 months late, and this is I don't know why they do this. I don't know why they do this because this is the goofiest thing. So for those that don't know, Zidane, most of his upgrades literally were in the game on global. He was one of those units, kind of like Lauren, etc., that they accidentally just copy pasted the JP update, and we had these upgrades on global. He had all of this stuff. It was working. I took him to some stuff. I took some pictures. I was going to make a video about it. I decided not to. But this was all literally on global like 4 to 5 months ago. And then they took it away. So this is what frustrates me because some people will like jump to defense and be like, well, it takes extra work for them to add these abilities. That's why we don't have them, because they're short-staffed. It's extra work to add these abilities. They were added automatically. They were in the game months ago, working fine, and they took them away. That's what takes extra work, is to take these abilities away from the players, because they're already there in the code. It comes with the JP update that they merge over from JP. But they took it away. Now it's here super, super duper late. And I don't understand why they delay this so much. Any thoughts on that, Gerrtt? Why they possibly do this?
My only thought on why they delay it, it has to do with, what units are currently available when we should have gotten him. So, like, was there something going on that was, like, having him would have made it useful to have him instead of pulling some new unit that was going to solve this problem? It's like now that that's over and he's no longer relevant or important or useful, here you go. But I don't get like the extra effort that it does take to remove it once it's already there, or having to like pick and choose what you caught. Like it's a lot of extra work. But it's got to do with it. The pessimist in me would have to say it has to do with sales, or has to do with encouraging you to pull on whatever's flashy rather than having something nice that you could have been using that you already had.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So for those that don't know, what Zidane does, they upgraded his LB. His LB is now an 89% defense break, a 160 wind in peril. And you could say that competes with Emperor, but Emperor was so long ago, and after they sold him, they could have put out Zidane 2 weeks later. It would have been fine. His Emperor's already been sold. But
I think we even had Emperor before. Emperor was way before the Garland, the Garnet banner, wasn't he?
I think so. So really, it's probably not even that.
Yeah, that can't be it.
Mm-hmm. And he gets more attack power. He gets more damage. It's still not great damage. He's more of like a breaker support. Like I said, 89 defense break, 160 wind and peril. He's like the wind version of Tulian. Yeah, he gets some stuff. All of this. Other updates. Okay, I was about to say, did they update? So here is. I guess we'll go to the JP page real quick, and I will show you. This is the best part of all. So, Lightning, Fast, Zidane, and JP. His STMR got upgraded. So for players that know what the STMR is, on JP, in global currently it takes 6 turns to get full bonus, and you get 1 turn of the big bonus on turn 6 if you sing it on turn 1. Now, after the update, it's a 3-turn singing, and then by the 4th turn, you're getting the 300 LB and stat buff for 5 turns. So It's significantly better. So you can sing it on turn 1, it's ready on turn 4, and then from turns 4 to 9, you've got these full-powered buffs, and it's really, really good.
That's a lot better than it was.
Significantly, because this one we couldn't even use in our like turn 5 meta where we're currently in for Dark Visions, because it's not ready to turn 6. Now it's ready by turn 4. This is amazing update. So huge.
People will actually be using it again.
Definitely, very glad to see that. Better late than never, but I wish it was just on time. Would have been so much nicer. And then the Clash of Wills. So what's his name? The Ginger Buff Man. So awesome.
He hit the gym too.
He did. Stone and Demon, weak to Ice, Light, and Lightning. Ice is the primary. Uses Ice and Earth physical and magic attacks. He heals when his HP is under 70, and if his HP is over 70, he counters, which, we don't know what he counters with, but there it is. And then here's the strange thing. It buffs itself if his defense is reduced or if not dealt the proper element. So we're kind of used to the, if you don't deal the elements, bad things happens. But now he buffs himself if you break his defense. That's very awkward because the majority of breakers just auto break just being on the team. So for example, you can't even take Kaito to the party if that's a big deal penalty because he auto breaks just for being there. So does like every other breaker. Tulian, Yish, all the JP breakers, they auto cast preemptive breaks, full break. So you can't even stop them from breaking defense. Also, most breakers are full break. Like there's very few options for like break just attack, magic, and spirit, but not defense. Can you think of any relevant ones off the top of your head, Gerrtt? Single stat breakers?
Not anymore. Even the ones that don't do full breaks are attack and magic or defense and spirit. So I can't really think of anybody that would be relevant that would be doing big numbers. One thing that stands out to me though is that it says buffs itself if its defense is reduced or if not dealt. So as long as you're dealing ice, light, and light or lightning, you should be okay, even if you break its defense.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. So based on the wording, it could be if you're just dealing the proper elements, it'll like shut that down. Okay, in that case, it's probably fine then. You're right. Interesting. Well, it'll be cool to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. And the special thing this month is boosting elemental resistance. You'll increase morale. That's being
good.
increased this turn. So, what's his name? Oh God, the priest Kresnik. Kresnik autocast that per turn. Sylvie does that. Those are the two common options.
And Calamity Border too.
Calamity Border, great thing to put on a unit while they just wait for the big burst. The special morale skill is boost ice and earth resist. It doesn't really tell you in direct way if it's better to use a physical or magical tank here. So that'll be interesting to figure out. It says it uses both types of damage. Normally, that means you want magic cover and then like Mirage for the party, but we'll have to see.
Yep.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, any other thoughts for it, Gerrtt?
I love that he has pecs.
He does.
Fantastic.
It's awesome. I love the sprite. But all right, so I guess that's it for now. We still got Vision World going on for another week. Have you managed to cap it yet, Gerrtt?
Yes. Yes,
Excellent.
I did. Yep.
Yeah. Ayaka might be useful for those of you that didn't cap yet. We don't know how she performs or if she performs anywhere yet, but she might be potentially a useful unit for capping Vision World. If you didn't do it yet, we've got Clash, etc. There was news for maintenance. That was on the early preview thing. It seems to have been taken down at this point. Maybe it's delayed or whatever. The maintenance, it looked like, was a 12-hour maintenance upcoming, which is pretty long. But then again, we've had long maintenances kind of often recently. I will say for Clash of Wills, for myself, I will try to live stream this on Thursday. Thankfully, Thursday is a holiday for me, and even if maintenance does go long, this Thursday it won't be a problem. So even if it's like a late stream, I should still be available to do it. So I'll be live streaming Clash of Wills, and we'll see if I can keep the record of I think 5 in a row at this point of rank 1s during the live stream day one. We'll see if that continues.
Really good crowd of folks in chat's usually there supporting you and talking ideas, and it's a really neat experience. So for anybody who's never checked that out when he does it, definitely come out and hang out with everybody because it's a lot of fun.
Definitely, thank you. But all right, so that's it. I guess thanks again for joining me, Gerrtt.
Yeah, and I've actually got one question for you. What are your thoughts about there being Clash of Wills and Vision World going on at the same time? Because a lot of people were suggesting when we were kind of speculating what the news would be this week that there's not really ever been double simultaneous competitive stuff going on at the same time. What do you think about that?
Yeah, there was a quote they said in some video update a year ago They did say that they're never going to overlap, and this is the first time they now are overlapping. I don't think it's that big a deal personally, mostly because the Vision World is different than Dark Visions, and the Vision World, for like a veteran player that tries hard and someone that's going to be trying hard in Clash of Wills, honestly speaking, this Vision World is not super challenging, so that kind of player has already day one capped Vision World and they're done. So I don't think there's really that much like effort going into Vision World on the second week, so therefore they can put all their attention into Clash of Wills. Now, if it was a Dark Visions, where the top 100 players, they spend literally the whole 2 weeks rerunning the final boss, it's very energy intensive, time intensive. That would be a lot bigger of a deal because then they're like, okay, I have an hour to play Brave Exvius. Do I work on Clash or do I go back for another hour of attempts on the final Dark Visions boss to hold my rank 6 slot or whatever? I think that'd be a bigger deal, but I don't really see it as a problem because of Vision World is just, you're done with it in like a day if you're a veteran player.
Me either, and also because they do use different energy. Like I don't really care. Like we've got orbs for Clash of Wills. Maybe we're using energy for Vision World, and like you said, I'm done with it, and I've even finished all my farming and crafting. So, it's just I don't really mind either way. I was just kind of curious what you thought about it, just because it is double technically competitive stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. If it was Dark Vision, I'd probably feel differently. But Vision World, we're done.
Yep.
All right, so I will see you guys on Thursday for the live stream. See you next time.
See you later.